All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sanjay Mattu. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says country's fight is against terrorism and not Kashmiris. Warns people against targeting Kashmiris following Pulwama attack. Prime Minister to launch Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana by transferring first installment of 2,000 rupees to farmers. Over 12 crore farmers to benefit across the country. Additional security forces deployed in Srinagr and elsewhere in Jammu and Kashmir to maintain peace. In Venezuela, clashes erupt in border towns as opposition tries to bring in humanitarian aid. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in the first T20 at Visakhapatnam this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said our fight is against terrorism and not against Kashmiris. He warned against the targeting of Kashmiris who he said have suffered the most in the wake of the Pulwama terror attack. Addressing a public meeting in Tonk in Rajasthan yesterday, he said the rest of the country must support them. Mr. Modi said that the security of each and every Kashmiri is the responsibility of every citizen of the country.
देश में रहते हुए अलगाववाद को हवा दे रहे लोगों पर भी कार्रवाई सख्त हुई है और सख्त होती रहेगी। अब ये बदला हुआ हिंदुस्तान है। ये दर्द सह करके हम चुपचाप नहीं बैठते। हम आतंक को कुचलना भी जानते हैं। हमारी लड़ाई आतंकवाद के खिलाफ है, मानवता के दुश्मनों के खिलाफ है। हमारी लड़ाई कश्मीर के लिए है, कश्मीर के खिलाफ नहीं है।
The Prime Minister said there's consensus in the entire world against terrorism, and India is moving ahead with strength to punish the perpetrators of terrorism. He said the country will not sit quiet after suffering this pain and knows how to crush terrorism. In the United States, over 200 Indian Americans held a protest in front of the Pakistan consulate in Houston, condemning the terror attack against Indian security forces in Pulwama. The protesters demanded swift action against Pakistan-based terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed and its leader Masood Azhar. The Indian community drove from across Texas, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio and nearby suburbs of Houston and gathered outside the Pakistan consulate for the protest. Waving the Indian flag, the protesters demanded that Pakistan should stop providing a safe haven to terrorists. The organizers of the protest said that their main objective was to call on global powers to act against Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. In Jammu and Kashmir, the crackdown on the separatist leadership, including Jamaat-e-Islami and other outfits, is continuing in the Kashmir Valley. The police have already arrested separatist leader and JKLF chairman Yasin Malik, besides more than 150 Jamaat-e-Islami cadres. The Vice President of the Jammu and Kashmir Jamaat-e-Ahle-Hadith, Maulana Mushtaq Ahmad Viri, was arrested by the police yesterday. Security sources said that the state armed police have also been directed to remain on high alert. An additional 100 companies of Central Armed Police Forces personnel, including BSF, ITBP, SSB, have already been deployed in Srinagar and other areas in the Kashmir region. Mr. Narendra Modi will launch the Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana or PM Kisan scheme at Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh today. He'll mark the launch of the PM Kisan scheme through the press of a button to electronically transfer the first installment of 2,000 rupees to selected farmers. The amount will be transferred directly to the bank account of the beneficiaries through direct benefit transfer. The amount will be given in 3 installments of 2,000 rupees each. 2 crore farmers will benefit in the state, while 12 crore farmers will get payment across the country under the scheme. Here's a report.
The Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana was announced in the interim budget 2019-20. Under the scheme, rupees 6,000 will be given per year to small and marginal farmers' families having combined landholding of up to 2 hectares. The scheme becomes effective from 1st December 2018 for transfer of benefit to eligible beneficiaries. PM will also lay foundation stone and dedicate to nation various development projects in Gorakhpur worth more than 9,000 crores and will address a public meeting here. He will inaugurate mothballed Pipraich and Munderwa Sugar Mill, AIMS Gorakhpur, Super Speciality Building of Gorakhpur Medical College and Light and Sound Show in Gorakhnath Temple along with other projects. He will also lay foundation stone of Gorakhpur-Azamgarh Link Expressway, Gorakhpur-Kandla LPG pipeline and electric loco shed of railways along with few other projects. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Gorakhpur.
Giving details of the Gorakhpur-Kandla LPG pipeline project, Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Dharmendra Pradhan told our correspondent this morning that 22 bottling plants will get supply from this line.
वेस्ट कोस्ट की कांडला से लेके 2000 किलोमीटर पार करते हुए ये पाइपलाइन 22 बॉटलिंग प्लांट को सप्लाई चेन बनेगा। देश की एलपीजी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर, बॉटलिंग प्लांट, सिलेंडर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्लांट और उसको पूरा करने के लिए देश में एलपीजी टर्मिनल्स, एलपीजी प्रोडक्शन की वृद्धि अपनी रिफाइनरियों में और इस प्रकार की एम्बिशियस पाइपलाइन एक ऑल राउंड इन्वेस्टमेंट क्लीन कुकिंग फ्यूल के लिए हम लोगों ने किया है।
The Prime Minister will honour the workers and volunteers engaged in cleanliness at a function in Kumbh city, Prayagraj today. Mr. Modi will also take a holy dip at the Sangam, the confluence of rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, during his visit.
According to official information, Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, in association with Government of Uttar Pradesh, is organizing Swachh Kumbh Swachh Abhar program at Prayagraj to felicitate the Swachhata workers working tirelessly in the Kumbh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be present as the chief guest. Prime Minister will also address a gathering at Ganga Pandal consisting of Swachhata volunteers, Sant, seers, devotees and student volunteers. Prime Minister will also visit Akshay Bhat that has been opened for public after a gap of around 450 years. State Government spokesperson and Minister of Health Siddharth Nath Singh said that with the inspirations from Prime Minister, the objective of clean, healthy and digital Kumbh has been achieved. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Kumbh City, Prayagraj.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, run the clock. Follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. Welcome back. You're listening to Morning News. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in India and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat program of All India Radio at 11 this morning. It will be the 53rd episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan. The program will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of the Prime Minister's Office, Information and Broadcasting Ministry, AIR and DD News. It will also be simultaneously broadcast on AIR's website www.allindiaradio.gov.in. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening. President Ramnath Kovind begins a 2-day visit to Uttar Pradesh today. He'll inaugurate the Apollo Medics Super Speciality Hospital in Lucknow. Tomorrow, the President will inaugurate the centenary celebrations of the DAV College, Kanpur. He'll also grace the Alumni Association Conference and annual day function of the BNSD Inter-College and Shiksha Niketan in the city. In Assam, a drive against illegal liquor is underway in several districts following the death of over 100 people in Golaghat and Jorhat districts by consuming spurious liquor. Over 200 people are undergoing treatment. The police and excise department destroyed illegal liquor and arrested several persons who allegedly produced spurious liquor in the state. Talking to AIR News, Golaghat Superintendent of Police Pushraj Singh said 7 persons have been arrested so far.
पिछले 2 दिनों में 7 लोग हमने अरेस्ट किए थे और उसके अलावा 13 लोग और पिकअप किए हमने क्वेश्चनिंग के लिए। बेसिकली बैक रूट वी आर गोइंग, विक्टिम्स के स्टेटमेंट के हिसाब से उन्होंने कहां से खरीदा एंड देन उसका लिंक कहाँ है, नेक्स्ट लिंक क्या है, किसी प्रोड्यूसर से लिया कि वो भी एक लिंकमैन था जिसके थ्रू उन्होंने खरीदा। एफएसएल का टीम हमारा कल शाम को पहुंचा है तो सैंपलिंग वगैरह करके गुवाहाटी लेके जाएंगे एंड देन तब सर्टेन हो पाएगा कि एक्चुअली कंटामिनेटिंग एजेंट क्या है।
Moving on to international news, in Venezuela, clashes have erupted in border towns as opposition activists were trying to bring aid into the country. Troops fired tear gas at people looking to cross into Colombia. An emergency doctor said 2 protesters have been killed and another 18 have been injured during clashes between soldiers and residents of a southeastern town bordering Brazil. President Nicolás Maduro said the border with Colombia is partly closed to stop aid being delivered. But opposition leader Juan Guaido has vowed humanitarian aid would enter his country despite a blockade. In Nigeria, 16 people were killed in electoral violence across the country during the presidential and parliamentary elections yesterday. Counting of votes is underway and results are expected early next week. In cricket, India will take on Australia in the first of the two 2020 internationals in Visakhapatnam today. The match will begin at 7 in the evening. India had registered a historic Test and ODI series wins in Australia, drawing the T20 series 1-all, and will look to continue that winning streak in home conditions. After the T20 series, the two teams will also play a 5-match ODI series beginning the 2nd of March. And now, for a look at today's newspapers for the major stories, it's over to Abhishek Kumar.
Thank you, Sanjay. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address at a public rally in Tonk in Rajasthan dominates front-page headlines. The Times of India quotes the Prime Minister as saying, "Our fight is against terror, not Kashmir or Kashmiris." Taking note of developments in Kashmir, the Tribune reports 200 Jamaat leaders detained in Valley. Separatists call it Article 35A conspiracy. In the backdrop of the Supreme Court about to commence hearings on the constitutional validity of Article 35A, the Pioneer notes 10,000 cops rushed to J&K ahead of Article 35A verdict. On the airlifting of additional troops into the valley, the Hindu riots, pre-poll exercise, say police, as tension spikes across valley. The Hindustan Times informs us of an anonymous threat call made to the Air India control room in Mumbai as it reports airports on high alert after Air India hijack threat. The Organization of Islamic Conference on OIC's invitation to India as a guest of honor at their foreign ministers' meet is highlighted in all the papers. The Pioneer writes, OIC invite India's feet and Muslim world. In first invite in 5 decades, Sushma to address summit in UAE as guest of honor. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's decision to go on an indefinite fast is widely covered in the press. The Indian Express writes, Kejriwal ups statehood ante. Will sit on indefinite fast from March 1. The Mail today has published photographs of charred cars with firemen trying to douse a fire with the caption, 300 cars gutted at Bengaluru Aero Show, probe on. Taking note of the research findings of the National Geophysical Research Institute, the Times of India reports on its front page, Delhi at epicenter of global groundwater crisis. Ganga Basin loses 32 cubic kilometers of water a year. And finally, she flies high on the badminton courts and off the courts as well. The Tribune has a picture of badminton star PV Sindhu at the cockpit of the light combat aircraft Tejas with the caption, Sindhu first woman to fly Tejas. And with that, it's back to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Abhishek. That was a look at today's newspapers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says country's fight is against terrorism and not Kashmiris, warns people against targeting Kashmiris following Pulwama attack. Prime Minister to launch Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana by transferring first installment of 2,000 crore rupees to farmers. Over 12 crore farmers to benefit across the country. Additional security forces deployed in Srinagar and elsewhere in Jammu and Kashmir to maintain peace. In Venezuela, clashes erupt in border towns as opposition tries to bring in humanitarian aid. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in the first T20 at Visakhapatnam this evening. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.